Thank you for joining us for Prosperous Living, producing results with velocity. This is session number 1, the basics of velocity. Now, I'm Ronnie B., and you can usually see me on Old Grumpy Radio, but I'm here with the Prosperous Divas, and this is one of their most amazing workshops. It really is. If you want to go from A to Z without having to do B, C, D, E, F, G, H, it will seem like that is what is happening. Now, you're going to go from A to Z faster with velocity. So it will seem like you went A to Z to other people. All right, so I know I'm teasing you a little bit, but to other people, it would seem like, wow, you'd have to do it, but you did. Okay, now before we move on, we do have a little poetic piece to get everybody in the mood, and this one is from Shani, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry. Please enjoy.
Yes, he loves me. From my head to my toes, all the way through to my soul. My flaws, my imperfections are perfect. What you call mistakes, he calls lessons. What you call luck, I call blessings. So no, I'm not restless. I know that I'm destined to shed a few tears, and no, I don't mean 3. I mean as many as it takes, because each tear will give me clarity. Allow me to see clearly that I am made in his image, shown how to give and taught how to receive what he has to offer me. He loves me. They ask me, do I believe? Well, if you have to ask that question, then you really don't know me. But he knows me. He knows how to console me. He knows how to move me. I know with him, I'm never lonely. With him, I'm never hungry, because he feeds my mind, body, and soul. And I'm full of the knowledge that he gives, and I'm thankful for the nourishment that he provides my inner being. He shows me how to find things that I think are missing, because he says that I'm complete. He's just adjusted me. That's how I found peace. He taught me how to truly love me, reminding me that my body is my temple, and yes, it is that simple. I'm covered by his grace, so I'm not afraid to face my yesterdays, my todays, or my tomorrows, realizing that I am on borrowed time, his timeline. And you may not recognize, but that means that I'm doing just fine. I'm no longer just trying to survive. I'm living life, and I'm free. Free from the nightmares that used to haunt me, and free from the demons that used to taunt me. But he released me and let me know that it's okay to be me. I don't have to pretend to be something or someone else, because I'm exactly what he made me to be. He loves me. And even when I've only managed to give him half, he gives me himself whole. He said that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So when people hurt me, he knows. He whispers when the battle's not mine, so I don't have to waste precious time. My, his love is good. Have you tried him? See, he can do what no man or woman can ever do for me. He truly loves me. So I love him for always being there. His gentleness in showing me that he cares. I know he may not come when I call him, but he's always there. I love him for keeping me safe in his warm embrace. He has never forsaken me, never just left me. Do you see how he has kept me? Open your eyes and see how he's kept you. Do you know that he loves you? I do. I truly do. And I know that he loves me too. So let me say this to everyone so they can hear me clearly. He loves me. I don't know what he sees in me, but I know that he loves me. He loves me. He loves me.
All right. Snap, snap, toe tap for Shani the poet. Tonight's workshop, using stops and barriers to create breakthroughs. Wow. From vague, what's that over there in the distance, to specific, supercharging results, and the Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster. And let me turn it over to one of my most favorite peoples on the planet, Diva Narcisse. Over to you.
Well, good evening, Ronnie B. other divas, and everyone that is listening to us and joining us tonight. Welcome to the current world of stocks and barriers. Thank you for joining us tonight for session number 1 of Prosperous Living, producing results with velocity. I am Diva Nikki, and I am joined by Ronnie B. and Diva Nakia. We are your course leaders for this 6-part series. If this is your first time participating in a Prosperous Divas webinar or workshop, we are glad you are here, and we promise if you do the assignment, you will see practical, pragmatic, and tangible results that exceed your expectations. If you are a previous participant, thank you for continuing to participate. You're going to really, really enjoy this course. Living wealthy, the basics, love, romance, and partnership is specifically designed for each participant to have a measurable and quantifiable breakthrough in their personal wealth from inquiring into these basics. The distinctions of velocity, results, boldness, and integrity. At the heart or center of power and manifesting our deepest and most important desires. This is a 4-session series. You are free to share with anyone who desires to grow their mind and money, being exactly who they are. Before we start our inquiry, let's hear from the team and see what's open for them since the last seminar of Living Wealthy, the basics, love, romance, and partnership.
Me.
Well, first off, wow, the last seminar was truly amazing. Love, romance, partnership, and I'm just a couple of things happened that I did not have on any list anywhere. Okay, I was not, for me, it did not live as an issue, but the impact, I'll just say, was like, wow. Okay. Several years ago, I had a family member was going through some things, and I let them live with me. And the bottom line is they stole from my roommate. And not only did they steal once, they stole twice. They came back and stole again.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I remember when it happened, and I was like, no way they could have done it. No way. And my roommate was really upset, because it was like, hey, they stole from me, and, like you having it like I'm crazy. I should, maybe I did this or lost it or whatever. And so that caused, I'll just say, in our relationship, that was an issue in our relationship for many, many, many years. Now, it got resolved several years ago between me and my roommate. And as far as me and my niece, it many years ago it stopped living. In the time, in the moment, I was just disappointed and hurt. Okay, and and I was mainly hurt that I had hurt my roommate's feelings and caused this rift. That's what I was really hurt about. Now my niece, I could have just been mad. I love my niece, so I'll be mad for a while and let it go. But hey, doesn't mean I'm gonna not want. Hey, now look, you did what you did, but easy for me to let it go. Love the girl, but so in between the now and the last seminar, she sent me this email, and the title was Owning My Ugliness. And she said, Uncle Lonnie, I stayed with you. This is what I did. I did it twice. You never brought it up. But I'm owning that's what I did. I did that. And I apologize. And that, I would like to say, for me, it was like, hey, that was in the past. It wasn't present on my mind, and there was no thing. Like I had forgiven her. When you forgive people, there's no thing. Hey, I forgave you years ago. It's no thing over here. But her sharing that, it was just like, wow. But as an aside, I sent my response to her, and she had a question about my response. And here's one of the things about being forgiven doesn't mean that you don't have a mess to clean up.
That's right.
I totally forgive you, and I get the apology and the owning it up, but you haven't owned it until you cleaned up the mess you made.
Right.
So it's like, hey, yeah, I get it. I even accept it, but it won't be complete for you until you clean up the mess. Whatever that takes, whatever manifestation that takes. Whatever that takes. So that was great. Then I want to say I'm the oldest and the oldest of the sisters. Okay, that's the way you put it. Okay, the oldest of the sisters. I got 4 sisters. The oldest of the sisters. Over the years, our relationship had became. At first, it was strained. Then I'd say it was like indifferent. Like just indifferent. So it's like, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. Hey, you happy? Well, hey, you happy? Chill. I'm doing my thing. So, but the presence of a deep love was missing, and a couple of weeks ago, I get this call for her, and she goes, "This is a missing for me. Our relationship, and I know we speak and family reunion, all of that, but the deep, rich relationship, I like it's something wrong." And that was what was in the background, that doesn't exist. And it was like, wow, hey, sis wants to have this, relationship. Okay. Again, no responsibility. I was like, I'm so glad. I'm so glad, but now you have it like I'm supposed to do something. Like now it's my responsibility because you feel this way. Maybe it's your responsibility to take an action to have it the way you want. If Diva, if I want to have a deep relationship with you, I have to generate things that have deep relationship be present.
That's right.
Now you may go, hey, I want to have a deep, and then but it's not I just mentioned that either I'm generating it or it don't exist.
I agree.
Yeah. So and I got that, and I got the other thing I got was, she is in a place where she was looking at our relationship from the context of the past. Do you relate with your mother today the way you did when you were 13 years old?
Absolutely not.
No. And would you expect that?
Absolutely not.
No. Your relationship now, now your relationship may be more loving, more out, or it may not. May not. Right. I'm just saying it but it may not be that. But it's what it is today.
That's right.
They're not doing the same things they would. They ain't the same people. See, one of the things I get the same, and the thing with my niece and my sister is that I do not have them in a box called the past. I don't have them in a box called the past. I have no clue who they are other than I love that spirit and being, and that's my sister and my niece. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know. And the other thing is that because there's the like what I should, we'll talk about that superstition should be doing, but I create channels for people to participate with me, and I do that so as you were sharing before the show, so that you can focus on what's important. Now, if you really, really want to participate and have deep and intimate relationship with me, then you need to be on one of my shows. Because otherwise, we can have conversation, but after about the third time, I got stuff to do. You got stuff to do. So and it doesn't have to. I'm just throwing that out like that's a channel. That's hey, well, Ron, you got a couple. Let me be on one of the shows with you, or let me, I'm deep into this. Let's work on a project together. And again, it's not my responsibility to generate that, but I do create all sorts of ways to play with me. I got a Monopoly game going on. You don't want to do radio? I got a Monopoly thing. Oh, you want to do sport? Well, I got a sports thing. Oh, you like comedy? Oh, I got a little comedy thing going over here. Oh, you like spoken word? Oh, look, I got friends who are spoken word. Oh, let me tell you, now you giving me a reason to be talking to them. Hey, we can all party here. But but that is it's. I take the pleasure in creating the channel, but I can't make you walk through it. So that was one thing. Yeah, so that was something that opened up, and now on to the uncle. And I know I've taken a lot of time, but it will make it all work. My uncle who passed away, Uncle Edward Wells, out of Monticello, Arkansas. Now, when he passed away, the governor made an announcement.
Wow.
And he, the governor of Arkansas, a Republican governor. My uncle was a lifelong Democrat. I'll put it like this. And my uncle was the first African American black man to be appointed to the state Veterans Board for the state of Arkansas at the time by Governor Bill Clinton. So for all the veterans, one of your buddies, Uncle's a veteran with you. He was with you. He was in Korea, so he go back, and but my uncle was the one person out of my uncles who had the entrepreneurial spirit, and he went forward, and he went forward, and he went forward, and he went forward at a time when I'll just say many blessings that we have in the entrepreneurial world just weren't available. That they, and during the times, and I'm just going to put it like this. This black farmer coming into me to talk about this project or whatever, who is he? But he had that. He would go do that, and they would listen. And whatever he was creating, he was actually ahead of his time. But what I learned was that there were certain things my uncle, and I'm just going to say that he didn't understand the process. And it's like, you win the game, but you got to know the rules. Because once you know the rules, you can go, hey, look, well, maybe you won't be the, quote, expert coming out the chute, but you will learn it. And,
right.
and I'm just going to say that, slow progress is not the same as no progress.
That's right.
That is not the
That
same.
Is right.
Slow progress is not the same as no progress. It is called progress. If it takes you 20 years to have your business, your prosperity, whatever it is, where you want it at, that is just what it took. Just one last thing. A friend of mine, an older guy, when I first had my first video store, back when they had video stores, and he said, look, it took me 20 years to get my sandwich shop going to where it started making money. Now, during that 20 years, we scrapped, and he said I was late on bills. Some bills I didn't pay, didn't have it, and it took me 20 years to get everything together. He said, let me tell you something. I had buddies who worked at the steel mills during that 20 years, and they was banking money, We said something happened along the way. We all got old and retired. Now, when they retired, they had the money that they made. He said, when I retired, I had the money I made, and my money was still being made. And he said, yeah, it took me 20 years before it started making the type of money. And then for the next 20 years, I got the kids through college and did all of that. But he said by the time I retired, he said, I ain't been in that store, and I only go in there once a week. And I collect my check. Now, he said, all my friends, they got to worry about Social Security and pensions and all of that. And, so this was back, this was many moons ago. But, I got from him that the fulfillment of your dream will take care of you longer than just doing, just following whatever the matrix say. But all right, I went way long, but just wanted to say that it has just been just the relationship things, and I'll just say that progress has been slow, but I am so clear, so clear that it is progress. All right, back to you.
Well, do I have enough time to share, or should we just move on?
No, you got time to share.
Well, for me, a lot has opened up since our last session. And a great part of that is me taking even more authority and responsibility for the things that I want in life, personal-wise, romance-wise, business-wise, and for my own vision and purpose, and just running forward, not making any excuses, putting things in priority, and sacrificing the things that I found were not immediately necessary, and that were not going to give me the results that I need right now, right? And that would even help me long term. And so it was like when I did that, when I made a decision, to just fully do that, which I find for me must be done periodically and sometimes more frequent than not, right? and maybe more frequent than others, but I have to go according to my own pace because I'm running my own race here. I'm not racing or competing with anyone. I'm running my own race, right? And so with that, for me, I have found that I've become a lot more loving and a lot more patient with myself, and in turn, being more loving and being more patient with other people when we're in contact and when we're not in contact, because I am still on my own course.
Now that is awesome. I like what you said, that you run in your own race.
Yes.
Yep. And you know, and I just want to really emphasize that you know that other people don't. And we'll speak more on that, I think, in the next segment. But wow.
Okay, so here we go. That was great, and I want to thank you for all of your wonderful and descriptive shares, Ronnie. You just really, I feel like I know you and everyone in the situation the way that you describe them, and I can feel what you mean by the responsibility, as far as wanting to make amends and wanting to develop something better, but not taking the steps, and you providing the platform. And I think in a sense, many of us do that. We just don't know how to voice that. And for so long, it may seem easy to let people just continue to just skate on by, thinking that they've done their part. They've said I'm sorry, they've apologized, and they have voiced a desire. And we let people voice desires without the responsibility of taking an action on that desire, waiting on us, and we don't have time because we have to run our course.
That was eloquent. Okay, now I think it's time for me to start this first inquiry, the occurring world.
So.
The occurring world of stops and barriers. Now, what do you hear when we say occurring world? Just think about, what do we say? Now, some of you have participated in our workshops before, so you're going to have to listen to that newly, from a new place, from where you are right now. What do you hear when we say occurring world? What do you hear when we say stops or barriers? What's the first thing that pops up when you hear stops or barriers? What do we mean when we say the occurring world of stops and barriers? I'm going to give you a little context. The occurring world is not the physical world. Let me repeat, the occurring world is not the physical world. The occurring world is the combination of conversations we have about the physical or real world that gives us our experience of life or how we are living life. Now, we're not saying this is the truth. Okay, we're not saying that this is the truth. We just want you to use it as a context to forward this inquiry. Now, here's an example. Two people see someone slip and fall crossing the street. One breaks out in laughter. The other looks appalled. Okay, and most of us have seen something like that happen or been in that circumstance. Now, for one person, it occurred as funny. For the other person, it occurred as not funny. Now, we could debate the appropriate response. We could, but that's not what we're doing. For this course, the context of our conversations And that's what we're distinguishing. The context of our conversations impacts our occurring world or perception of reality, which empowers us in being bold, passionate, and powerful. So let me just say this again. The context of our conversations impacts our occurring world or perception of reality, which empowers us in being bold, passionate, and powerful. The occurring world is the context or framework from which we experience our life. It is either empowering our experience of stops or barriers, or our experience of resiliency, grace, forgiveness, and power. So, the occurring world is the context or framework from which we experience our life. It is either empowering our experience of stops or barriers, or our experience of resiliency, grace, forgiveness, and power. Now, for this inquiry, we're going to distinguish barriers and stops as a conversation. The degree we have conversations for barriers and stops is the degree we experience barriers and stops in our lives. Now, ultimately, we experience barriers and stops from conversations we choose to generate for having barriers and stops experienced and expressed in our lives. So let me make it simple. There are no barriers and stops in your experience until you say so. No barriers and stops in your experience until what? Until you say so. We generate our experience of barriers and stops. Now, think about this. You're stricken in the prime of your life and crippled forever, having to use a motorized chair to move and blowing through a tube to speak. Is that a stop or barrier? Now, we want you to think about that in reality. What is already in the listening? Is this a stop or barrier? Now, Diva Nikki?
Yes.
Just either to answer the question or what do you hear in the question?
I hear a challenge. That's what I hear. I hear, for me, that it's a choice to say I can't live my life the way I am accustomed to living, so I'm just going to surrender to this chair and forget about whatever else I had going on in my life or wanted in my life, because now it's different. Or I can say this wheelchair is now a barrier between me and my dreams and what I was doing, and I can either work around it or I can use it as a tool to still try to get there. Or I can say, you know what? It's just a factor. It's neither a stop or a barrier. It is just a factor. And with it being a factor, it is a challenge. So maybe I can't do what I've been doing and wanted to do the way I always had and envisioned, but I still need to do it. I still want to do it. It's still my desire. So let me see what I can do. How do I grow in this place to get to that place?
Oh, wow. So you heard a lot in there. I like that. I like that. And really, I just want to say I really do love that, because that's thinking. And I'm going to just tell a lot of you are lazy thinkers. You are. You're lazy thinkers. Now, I did not say that you're not smart, intelligent, and very, very good at what you do, for a living, raising your family. But there's a point where you get lazy in your thinking, and that is when you get old, and that is when people die. They get lazy in their thinking, and everything they know all there is to know, and they know how it's going to be. That is so great. Now, in the physical world, there are actually stops and barriers. That is accurate. If you are driving your car and there is a sign that says dead end, and you keep going, you will hit a barrier. I guarantee you. Now, thank goodness for the occurring world. It is only a stop or barrier into living the life you love and living that life powerfully if you say it is. As Diva Nikki said, hey, it can just be a factor. It's going to be the same circumstance, and it could be a factor. Might not be a stop barrier, might not be just, hey, this is what I deal with. People who are, quote, physically challenged, or whatever the proper term is, you'd be amazed how they go, this is what I live with. I'm living. This is what I got. And they deal with it. And so, again, thank goodness for the occurring world where the experience is what you say. Stephen Hawkins is a genius with a loving wife and children, okay, sex life, who leads a remarkable life, a life of love, joy, passion, a life filled with imagination and power, a life of love. Now, there are physical stops and barriers, which in reality can be overcome with enough time, effort, and energy. So even the, quote, physical barriers can be overcome in reality with time and effort and energy. The stops and barriers that prevent us from manifesting the results we desire with velocity are conversations we have spoken or said to ourselves to keep us safe. To keep us safe instead of producing results. So let me say that again. The stops and barriers that prevent us from manifesting the results we desire with velocity are conversations we have spoken or said to ourselves to keep us safe instead of producing results. Now, Diva Nikki, do you hear anything in that comment?
Yeah, you know what? I think for the most part, a lot of us want to play it safe. And a part of it, I believe, is our brain's natural instinct to look out for us and not wanting us to do anything that's different because it might hurt us. If it's uncharted ground, then there's a possibility that it might hurt us. And so don't go there or don't even try it because, who wants to get hurt? Who wants to cry? Nobody wants to cry. Nobody wakes up and say, you know what? Today's a good day to freaking cry. Sign me up for tears today.
Yeah.
Or nobody wants to. No one wants to try to get over a mountain when we've only trained to get over a 5-foot brick wall, right? If you only, so they say, hey, but that was just a practice ground, but the real prize is on the other side of this mountain. And, and we only allow you 6 weeks to get over the wall before we introduce you to the mountain. And you've done it. You have gotten over the wall. You've done a 6-week training. Ta-da! Then, then your brain goes, now just wait a minute here. You have not been on the mountain before. You've seen them on pictures, and that's cute. But you've never done that mountain thing, so, hold up. But, that's just, once again, you know, your brain might say, you're going to, you know, you might get on, like, make it a quarter up the mountain, and then you get thirsty and you don't have any water right there, and they want to stop to get any water. No one said that you can't have water, you know. But your brain has already gone into full effect about the what if, right? The what if. And you're not having, and in relationships, you know, the brain says, hey, that person didn't say you loved them when you said they didn't say they loved you back. So you may want to stop loving them right now, because, you know, this could end bad. This could end real bad. And but it's a conversation that you, once again, you're having all by yourself. It's just you and your brain having this conversation. You and your brain.
Yeah. Yeah. That was great. Earlier, before we, as we were doing our pre-work before the show, we discussed a distinction called the gap. And what happens is that we want to get to point Z. We're at A, we want to get to Z. And we're working, and we finally get to B. And then we're working, and we finally get to C. But Z looks like it's going to take forever to get there. And, you know, there's a gap. And we look around, and other people have went from A to Z. And we go, look, you know, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm working I got the commitment, the passion, all that. Why am I moving so slow? And what it is that oftentimes we're not working on what would close the gap. We're working on the things that we like, or the things that we already have a strength in. And we're not addressing whatever it is to close the gap so that we're at A to Z. So, you know, that's one of the things that we, and part of that is, and that's when something becomes a stop or a barrier. See, it's not really a stop or a barrier. It's something that we don't want to do.
Right. You
know, it might be a conversation, or it might be, you know what, I really want to get into real estate, but I won't discipline myself to take the class.
Why are you going to bring that up?
Oh, no. Well, present company excluded. But I said, so stops and barriers are, because they're conversations. So you said they're stop at a barrier. And we'll make insidious little stops and barriers that are not. They're just things we don't want to do. But they're the things that need to be done to close the gap and move with velocity. Now, would anyone here like to have a breakthrough and having those stops and barriers turn into just the right things to propel you with velocity? Hey. Now, what do you hear when we say have a breakthrough in velocity? Do you hear opportunity? Do you hear responsibility or freedom? Do you hear fulfillment? Do you hear working hard? Do you hear I wish? Are you nervous or scared, excited, doubtful? Whatever you become present to is perfect, totally perfect for this conversation. Now, before we can have a breakthrough in an area, we must clean out the muck. So you can't put like they say, fresh linen over a dirty bed. You know, at least I couldn't think of the one to really say, but that sounded good. Before we could, but we got to clean out the muck. Now, to clean out the muck, we must see with fresh eyes, mind, and heart what is already there in the space. Because a lot of times, the muck is there. We think that's normal. Wendy's wrapper that's been sitting in your office for a week, like it's a new decoration. That's like tribute to Wendy's. But so we have to clear the space. Now we're going to start the process of clearing the space with an exercise. Diva, take it away.
Okay, so our exercise is superstitions, stops, and barriers. There are stops and barriers. We don't believe are stops and barriers because we believe they are the truth. And we forgot we created or spoke that stop or barrier into existence. Now you have a superstition. One tool we use to determine a superstition is an inquiry for a special type of complaint, which we refer to as a persistent complaint. We have a little exercise intended to empower you in using this tool, anytime, under any circumstances, to generate the presence of love. We want you to create the following categories: relationships, health, spiritual, wealth. Under each category, write 3 complaints and why each is a stop or barrier for you in producing results. If there is a person who impacts the complaint, write their name. Now we're going to give you a couple of minutes to work on your list while we share what we see so far in the exercise. So, I'm going to take on relationships, right? And I'm going to take on a constant complaint from others in regards to me.
Okay.
Okay, so my constant complaint that I get from some people is I'm too busy. And because I'm so busy, they don't hear from me. They don't hear from me. And now, granted, Miss Narcisse Nikki Tapton, the diva, is pretty busy. I cannot deny that. But I'm not too busy for relationships. I'm too busy being productive with relationships that are progressing.
That is clear. Yeah, that is. I just want people to get that. Relationships that are progressing. And and what I also get in that is that you have those loved ones who are complaining, you still love them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no, and if the relationship isn't progressing, might not get a lot of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, continue.
And so, yes. And so what I've had to do also, because some of the people that are making these complaints were not people that were also reaching out to me. They were not calling me. They were not texting me. They were not even inboxing me on my social media, of which they follow very closely every single post. They simply were bothered themselves and felt a barrier that there was a problem because I had not reached out to them. Yes. So I created the space, right, when they make these complaints, and I say, you know, my phone still rings. And I'm very available. Like because I'm all love over here. Anybody that does really, 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 really know me, like they know that I'm all love, I'm all peace. You don't know if there's a problem with us. If I have a problem with you, like I state the problem myself so that there is no confusion if I'm upset with you or not, and then we can work on it, right? So if nothing's been said and you haven't done anything to offend me, then I'm probably not offended. I'm just living my life like I think you should do for yourself. Just live your life. That's all I'm saying. But I also put out there, you know, this is what I am working on. And if you can help me with what I'm working on, right, because I have deadlines and stuff, great. You know, tell me how you fit in, right? Tell me where you fit in. If you need my help with something, let me know. Don't leave me to guess it because I'm too busy doing the things that I know I need to do to be guessing for someone else what I might need to do. Okay.
All right.
I think I needed to visit.
All right. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna kind of recreate what the diva said, and I'll just say, in using our languaging, okay. And what I'll say is that the diva had a complaint about others complaining about her lack of being in communication with them. Okay, and part of the complaint was that, hey, I really am working on what I say I'm really working on. You know, now just because you ain't got a life, you know, don't try to project that over on me. So I'm going to get you. That's the kind of the language of the. Now the powerful part was when she took ownership and said, you know what, I'm going to tell you the truth. The door is open. I have whatever I'm working on, and the door is open. If you want to play with me, the door is open to participate in a range of things that I play with. Hell, if you want to get up in the morning and go work out and say, you know what, I need to work out a little bit. Hey, you can hey, you know what? Now we're working out at the club together. I'm at the club. So that's really great. And she communicated. That's the powerful part. Was that, hey, look, now not only have I created the channels, now I'm telling you straight up. You know, here they are. Mm-hmm. So, and I dare say that those who are progressive that weren't present in the past will start showing themselves up. Mm-hmm. Mm. You know, because a lot of them, they've been waiting for you to say that. Oh, that's how? Shoot, I've been scared to ask, and you gave them permission. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, continue with the exercise.
So, under each category, now that you have your list, next to each complaint or person, answer this question. What is missing? The presence of which would make a difference, and this being an opening for an opportunity for action to manifest my desires with velocity. I know. Can you say it again? Yes, I can. Let me repeat it. What is missing? That the presence thereof would make a difference, and this be an opening, an opportunity for action to manifest my desires with velocity. Now, so for some of you, you might make a difference, or make a difference is forgiving someone or forgiving yourself. For others, it might be telling the truth to someone about your desires or sharing yourself. Clear throat. It might be a conversation for letting go. But whatever it is, write it down. And finally, write the action or conversations needed for this to be an opportunity, and by when you will act with velocity. Anybody want to share?
We actually have went over on this segment, so we're going to have to share offline.
Okay. Yes, we've been very talkative, very expressive this time. Okay, so next session, we will be inquiring deeper into the occurring world of stops and barriers. We will continue the conversation on the other side of the break with from vague to specific, supercharging results. The time is now 6:04 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please return at 6:10 p.m. CST. See you after the break.
We are one. I feel a sense of oneness when I listen to the harmony of life. We live in a world rich with diversity, yet it may be easy to forget that we are one, united by a divine common denominator. All things and people can work together in divine synchronization. Nature reflects this harmony. When I find myself in the great ice outdoors, I take a moment to listen to the symphony of sound. Various bird calls mingle with the sound of the wind in the trees. The chirp of insects are gurgling of water trickling to create a wondrous symphony. A beautiful harmony of human expression can be made too. I am listening and adding my own unique expression to the symphony of all life.
Yes.
We are one, and diversity makes this knowing even sweeter. As you, Father, are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. John 17:21.
Sorry if I never been that girl you needed. Oh, nah. Sorry that I don't have the figure that you're looking for. 'Cause I'm a natural woman, made of perfection, my imperfection. Yeah, I'm a natural woman, freshly organic with no addition. Say you're a natural woman, don't need your makeup, don't need your cosmetics. I'm a natural woman, yeah, baby, I'm a natural woman. Love me, it's not just for my beauty, not just for the things you see. If you could love for me. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. It goes so much deeper. More than the naked I can see. I'm more than just my body. More than the Barbie doll you see.
imperfections, my imperfections, yeah, I'm a natural one. Freshly organic, with no addition, baby, a natural one. Don't need your makeup, don't need your cosmetics, I'm a natural woman. Yeah, baby, I'm a natural woman. So love me for me, and not just for my beauty, not just for the things you say. If you could love me for me, and love is underneath, and love inside of me. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. So if you never love, don't bring me time is through. If only you could love me, but I'm too good for you. So love me for me, and not just for my beauty, not just for the things you say. If you could love me for me, and love is underneath, and love inside of me. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am. Love me just the way I am, oh, just the way I am.
All right, welcome back from the break. We're glad that you're here for the next segment, which is from vague to specific, supercharging results. And this is going to be led by Diva Nikki. Now, I'm sure as soon as we get the communications working for Diva Nikki.
Here I am. Diva Nikki is back from vague to specific, supercharging results. Now, before we start the inquiry, let's see what is already in our current world when we hear the word vague. Do you hear, not me, do you hear problems, the other person, politicians, your boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe even liars? Take a moment and get present to what is already in the conversation before a word gets spoken when you hear vague. Now, what do you hear when we say the word specific? Do you hear demanding, burden, power, rule, restriction, freedom? You take a moment and get present to what you are present to for both questions while the team and I share. Oh boy. I'll start. So when I hear vague, first thing I hear is what a lot of people say to me when they ask me a question and I answer. They say, "That is so vague."
Oh God.
and I can honestly say that a lot of times I am giving people vague answers because what I hear from them when they're wanting me to be more specific is a burden, and I'm hearing demanding, and yes, that is what I become present to. So I instantaneously, not even subconsciously, give them vague answers.
Yep. Yep. That would occur for people as non-committal. Yep. Yeah, it's non-committal. Oh, okay. Wow. I mean, that's the occurring when someone is vague in that way. People hear that as non-committal, and it might be for valid reasons. I wouldn't want to, to commit to a 20-year contract and I haven't read the thing. So it can.
Right.
So there could be good reason, but that's what people hear, and I love it because when I hear vague. I already hear biting the ass. Because when people are vague with me, what I already hear is you're gonna be a problem because you don't know what you want, and you already setting it up so you can blame me when it don't work out. Yeah. Now when I hear specific, I hear freedom. Oh, tell me what you specifically want, because I will get you specifically that. Okay, now if you got a complaint when I gave you specifically what you said, that's on you.
That's on you.
Yeah, I'm free, because I'm gonna do it. Okay, you say really, and it's actually a matter of integrity. There's this famous rock band. I can't think of their name at the moment. But, they would, before they went to an auditorium, a venue to perform, they had certain technical and production requirements that the venue needed to have in place for them to do the performance, the way that it was set up. Okay, it needed to be laid out with any production. If you've ever done a play or anything, things have to be set up a certain way for them to work, the way it's supposed to flow. Now, one of their tests, they had a test to see if the people really were following their instructions. If they were, because they were very, very specific, and it was called the green M&M test. Now you'll say, what's the green M&M test? Well, in all the instructions that they had, one of the instructions said when they come in the lobby, there should be a jar filled with M&Ms, and there should be no green ones.
Huh?
And they knew immediately if they got to the venue and they saw the jar of M&Ms, but there were green ones in there, that they didn't follow all the specifics.
Wow.
They knew to check. They said when they got to places and that there was no green, then they said, no, they checking everything. They knew it and had confidence. But otherwise, they said, now we got to start checking, because what else didn't you do? So, that empowered them, to make sure that their productions went well, that it went the way they wanted. And so I love specific and vague. Oh, my God, that's just a setup for disaster. Back to you, Diva Nikki.
Well, I must say this. When it comes to that, it's usually in a personal arena, where I feel that people are asking me questions to be nosy, and or to be demanding of my schedule, versus really being concerned about what is going on and wanting to help and move forward. Business-wise, ask me what's going on.
I was just going to say I'm just going to say you're reacting to a perpetration.
Oh.
See, that's the thing about that the world of remember, it's an occurring world, so it's not that like you did anything bad or wrong, anything is occurring, and that would be an appropriate response to a perpetration. Yeah, but see, that's like being responsible. Hey, if you're gonna try
Right.
to be, put forth a perpetration, I'm gonna be vague. But see, you could own
Mhm.
that. That's not like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a yeah. So you may have trained yourself that way. That you know what, hey, perpetration, I'm vague. So if you don't
Mhm.
come straight or you trying to finagle, you go get vague. Yeah, but that's
Mhm.
but that's like even though it may be a automatic mechanism, it doesn't sound like it's something that runs you.
Right.
Right, that's nothing that runs you. Now we know we'll get it as we further get in. We'll the ones that run folks. Okay.
Okay. So, wow. So, taking a moment now and getting present, and we've shared whatever you are present to, once again, is perfect. Now, we're going to continue with our inquiry into the inquiring world. Yippee! I know y'all are super excited about that. So, our recurring world produces results. If the current world is strange or difficult, everyone will experience a level of strangeness or difficulty. You have the right product or service, yet getting the sale seems mysterious or unnecessarily challenging. You may even notice your sales or cash flow is declining. If the current world is one of generosity, passion, and service, everyone will experience freedom, ease, and power. There is a natural willingness for prospects, clients, people to listen to your views. You attract sales and growth consistently in fun, surprising ways. And often we are, excuse me, often we're not producing the results we desire because we are producing the results consistent with the vagueness of what we say we want to accomplish. Vague desires produce vague results. Vague desires produces vague results. The universe consistently gives us what we command. The richest people in entertainment learn this earth, so they are very specific about what they want and what they will produce. In business, have you ever promised one set of results to a client, produced a result, and they were totally unhappy with the result or felt you underdelivered? Have you ever worked your tail off to get a client, and when the project was completed, felt you were totally underpaid and underappreciated for all the work you did? So, when we are vague about our desires or what we are going to accomplish, you become the victim of the occurring world instead of the master. Oh. Okay,
Oh yes.
team.
Just briefly, at a time when I was in the corporate world, there used to be this term, and it was called when you. Oh God, let me think of this term right quick. But the bottom line, it was there's a term they called moving the goalpost. Okay, so you get something accomplished, but that's not what we really want, and the client moves the goalpost. And we used to call that project creep. Okay, we call it project creep. Hey, we were commissioned to do A, but now you want B, C, D, and because we started working on B, C, D, like as a courtesy, now you're holding that over our head to get it all done. And that's that. Oh God, talk about horrid, because no one is ever happy. Because by the end of the project, everyone has lost money. You don't want to work for the client. The client don't want to work for you. Don't want you to work for them anymore. It just ends up being. And what happened is, and the reason is vague in the specifics up front. Because that's what allowed the creep to come in. Now there was, there were techniques to avoid project creep. Oh, before we do Y, before we do this thing that you want us to do, we have to give you an additional cost estimate, an additional time frame, and you have to agree. And, so in other words, you have to be specific about changes, the impact, and everything. And most of us don't want to be that rigorous in our own businesses.
Right.
And the reason is we want to be safe. We don't want to hurt someone's feelings or not have our own feelings hurt. We don't want to be mistaken for being a hard ass or being a softie. It can work either way. But the bottom line is it has us be vague and has us accept vagueness.
Well, that nailed that. So,
back to you,
So when we're being vague about our desires or goals, it is to avoid being held accountable for the results. We want to be right, so we're vague to avoid being wrong. Problem is, though, being vague inherently creates bad results, a la vicious circle. It may seem like we're being specific, but we are not. And that allows for the creation of a world that hasn't occurred, that we are victims at the mercy of the world out there. When we are vague and we allow others to be vague, it creates an occurring world of lack, want, fear, confusion, and even mistrust. Simple tasks become hard, molehills become mountains. The first step we are giving you for having results with velocity is the framework for producing specific, measurable results. Producing specific, measurable results. The result is finite, absolute. The goal is to make a lot of money. Okay, that's vague. The goal is to make $1 million. That is specific and finite. Another example. The result is measurable. The goal is to make as much money as we can possibly make. Vague, not measurable. The goal is to make $1 million. Again, specific and measurable. The result has a time limit. By when? The goal is to make a lot of money this year. Vague. The goal is to make $1 million by the fourth quarter of 2016. It is specific and measurable. Over the next week, use your list of stops and barriers in creating specific, measurable results that turn them into opportunities using this framework. We will deepen this process the next session, so enjoy. In our final segment, we are joined by Diva Nikhil Franklin for the Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster. We're taking a 5-minute break. The time is now 6:28. We know we're running behind on time. We're running a little long, but please return at 6:33. See you at the end of the break with the Prosperity Mind Blast.
Living this day fully. This is the day when life happens. This is the day when your intentions become achievement. Today is when you make full use of everything you've learned. Today is when you rise above limitations and push beyond challenges. Today is the day when you express your values, your priorities, your dreams with your actions. Today is when you show how much you care with how much you do. Today is the culmination of all you've ever said, done, experienced, learned, promised, and expected. Today, you're able to mold the best possibilities into reality. This is a day too precious, too full of promise to waste on worry, procrastination, resentment, or doubt. By the end of the day, you can be miles ahead of where you woke up this morning, having added achievement, love, and meaning along the way. Living this day fully is something you cannot put off a moment longer. Embrace today and its possibilities with all you have and make it the best one yet.
She's a very special woman, a strong one at that. Never giving up on her own, that's a fact. I'm proud of who I am, and it's all because of you. You taught me to work hard so my dreams will come true. I'm proud to be your son, reflection of your light. And despite of what I do, you always told me right. And lessons I've enjoyed, the support I always had. Never mad, always glad that I never did no bad. Sweetest inspiration, numb to the pain. You always found the sun whenever there was rain. First name Alice, last name Rivera. My favorite superhero, always down for whatever. Yes, every day's Mother's Day, tribute to my mom. Now and forever, dedication is your song. You are the light of my life. Everything that's wrong, you make it right. You make it right. You are the light in my darkest days. I wouldn't have gotten here without you.
Let me take it back to 1976. My queen gave birth to her prince, and I've been blessed ever since with this life that I live, the lessons that I've learned. Mom's told me that I'm only gonna get it if it's earned. Hold my head up high, despite any obstacles. She led by example, so failure's not optional. Working 2 jobs, making sure we can eat, making sure we were close from our head to our feet. Never let the beat get in the way of a goal. So many bumps in the road, it didn't stop or go. I drive, I strive to provide us with a better life. And with these letters, I compose the rhymes to describe how grateful I am that this woman gave a damn to raise a son from day one into a full-fledged man. And since you were there throughout my life, my inspiration, in turn, I'll turn these words into my dedication. You are the light of my life. Everything that's wrong, you make it right. You are the light in my darkest days. I wouldn't have gotten here without you. I got my way. This is my dedication to you. You see, you
Oh, I always love it when a guy lets his woman know how important she is to the situation.
Right on, right on.
Take that as a lesson. All right, okay. And did we get Diva Nakia's technology working?
Yes, indeed. I am here. Hey, everybody.
Oh, hey, all right. I am so glad. And they didn't give us a Diva Nakia snuck in on stealth mode, so she might have been here for the whole webinar, and we couldn't tell. I don't know how. You know what? I'm gonna have to find out if you working with them Russian hackers, or is it that fat guy in North Korea? We might have
just
to check you out now. We might have to check you out now. I don't want no panels knocking on my door.
Problems. You don't want no problems. None at all.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it copacetic.
All right, Nakia, take it away.
All right, so it's time for that Divine Prosperity, Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I am Nakia Franklin, the Empress of Faith. I have a great Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster for you this week. Your day to fill with richness. You are alive and living. So today, act like it. Put your imagination to use and then put effort and commitment into creating the good things you imagine. When conditions change, adapt. When you encounter beauty, enjoy it without guilt, without judgment, without doubt or worry. I hope you got that. So again, when you encounter beauty, enjoy it without guilt, without judgment, without doubt or worry. Instead of wondering what certain experiences would be like, find out. Instead of wishing for things to be better, get busy making a positive difference. Say what you think and do what you say. Follow the dreams that live in the heart of who you are. Welcome the challenges and feel yourself growing strong as you work through them. Admit what you don't know and make use of what you do know to learn more. This is your day to fill with the richness of life. See what a great opportunity you have and live it with all you can. So what I see for myself is, regardless of the adversities that may come up, because we know every day it could be something new, something different. However, if we're on a path, if I'm on a path and I'm focused and I'm trying to get somewhere and accomplish some things, and something comes up that is unexpected, because you know what you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know that you know. You'll get that later. Anyway, when those unexpected situations, events, activities, things in life occur, don't let it just stop you. It's okay. It'll take you aback. It'll pause you even for a moment. But what I have to do is step back, be still, breathe slowly, inhale, exhale, and regroup. Don't be so quick to react or respond, because it can take you into a different place. You have to be willing, like myself, and it's taken me time, don't get me wrong, but to consider the possibility of something different, to consider the possibility of the thought pattern and process of how I would have reacted in the past, the familiar. We all know about what's familiar, how we respond and react. Yet and still, what am I trying to do differently that will continue me on to make progress throughout the process? Or how can I alter it or make a detour in order to get better at what it is that I'm trying to accomplish? get around the wall, break the wall down, climb over the wall. Hell, I'll even dig a hole and go under the wall if necessary. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to get somewhere and accomplish my goals and tasks for the day, the moment, the hour, or the year. So think about what you would do when you have an opportunity and see what great opportunity you have. Live it with all you can. So we have a short inquiry for you. If you are being a divine mind prosperity blaster, what would life look like? What are the stops and barriers that have turned into superstitions preventing you from experiencing yourself as a divine mind prosperity blaster? Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. I know you're wondering, but I want you to consider this. It has nothing to do with your bank account. I bet you didn't think about that.
Diva Nakia, say that over again. That whole statement there.
Oh, that would be my pleasure. So, what are the stops and barriers that have turned you? No, hold on. What are the stops and barriers that have turned into superstitions, preventing you from experiencing yourself as a divine mind prosperity blaster? All right, you ready for the big reveal?
I just want to do one comment on that. Just as you're saying it, and I'm like, I hate you. Because I'm looking at the question. Why did she bring up that question? Why did you say that? Why did you say inquire into that? I hate you. I love you, but I hate you.
Absolutely.
But that's such a powerful ownership, because the question is saying, where are you going to take ownership that you created the barrier, that you created the stop?
Absolutely. Wow. So just consider the possibility and listen to what Ronnie has shared with us and listen to the question and think about it. It has nothing to do with your bank account. So what conversations are you willing to give up so you can experience yourself as a divine mind prosperity blaster? What conversations are you willing to release?
Well, actually, that second question is, what conversations are you unwilling
to release? You're so right, because we can be stubborn in our own ways and hold ourselves back because we're constantly communicating amongst ourselves, within ourselves.
Now, Diva Nakia, that's because I resemble that. Now I'm getting a little upset with you.
That's okay. That's
I know
okay.
I know that never happens to Diva Nikki.
Of course not. Nikki has it all under control. She will never stop herself from anything. She'll never have reservations. She'll never consider, maybe I'm not good enough. Oh, she's coming in.
You know what?
Has been awakened.
Let Diva Nikki chime in and say, yes, she will have those moments, and then she speed bumps over them. Like, that's nonsense. I am good enough. No,
I love it.
I can do it. It's really hard. And maybe it's hard because I don't want to do this part of it. But in order to get what I need to get and what I'm striving to get, then I'm going to have to do it. So I can either do it and face the challenge, or I can live with regret. And regret is not an option for me.
Wow.
I'd rather say it didn't happen the way I wanted it to, because I gave it all I could, and it just wasn't meant to happen because I gave it all I could and it didn't happen, versus saying, you know what? It got hard. for me, or there was something about it that I just didn't want to do, and that cost me what I really wanted. And then see somebody else with it, right? That had a little bit more tenacity.
Oh.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Oh.
That hurt. That pierced my soul.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Getting over those seeds.
You know, what I get present to out of what Diva Nikki just said is, don't talk yourself out of your own blessing just because you're gonna. There may be some struggle.
Absolutely. I got present to that. Because those struggles will come every day, regardless.
Every day. And you know what? It's a daily commitment. Everything that you want in life, everything that you're going for, and everything that you're doing is a daily choice and requires a daily commitment.
Yeah. I got that. Thank you, Diva Nikki. Wow. So I hope you was definitely touched, moved, and inspired by what was shared by each of us, and that you're touched, moved, and inspired by something that you see for yourself, and you can pull out of it and resonates with your spirit, so you can continue to push forward and move through. What conversations are you unwilling to release? Start releasing them today. So this is your homework, a task. This is something that is about completing something that needs completion for you. Keep a daily log or post daily on Facebook any results or insights. And please, please, please share with the Prosperous Divas. Okay, this is it. So our next session is Sunday, July 2nd. So check our website for registration and details, or check us out on Facebook for the information. So please register.
And Diva Nakia, just to give them a little insight on the next segment or the next session. Diva Nikki is going to give you the model we call fail, achieve, win. Fail, achieve,
how exciting.
win. I'm going to tell you, it's really empowering. Fail, achieve, win. When you get this, you know, I'm just saying, listeners, when you get the context of fail, achieve, win, you know, those things that happen that seem like a mystery, you'll get that they are perfect.
Wow.
They are perfect. They are perfect. Fail, achieve, win.
Well, everybody register as soon as you can, because we really have to really get into this fail, achieve, and win concept. So visit me at appointedtimeforyou.com and join the movement. For more information about workshops and seminars, visit us at prosperousdivas.com. Tonight's Prosperous Divas are Nakia Franklin at appointedtimeforyou.com. And, of course, Diva Nikki Taplin, BeautySolutions.com. And we are always joined by the handsome, wonderful Ronnie B. Please enjoy the music selection from Nick West. Prosperous Divas. Prosperity is a mindset that can be created by anyone. Peace and blessings.
Over the years, I realized I wanted to love you forever. And as time passed by, you remain my lifeline. So tonight I promise you my life, you my husband, I your wife. Baby, no more lost time. I want to love you forever. And I stand at Destiny's gate waiting to say I do to my soulmate. I knew that as long as it took, I'd wait. But that wait is almost over. And I promise to be all that I am because you are all that I need. I want you to know that when I'm with you, my soul sings, my mind is at peace. When you're away, my heart just grieves. You are everything that I am not. So if you didn't know, allow me to tell you right now that you complete me. And I want to grow old with you. When you're hurt, I want to console you. Be the one to always hold you, because you are the sunshine that quietly brightens my day. You are the moonlight that puts me to sleep so restfully at night. Together we can handle any battle. You know that I'm right. See, you've made all the difference in my life. And I finally realized that I don't want to live my life without you. Forever is a long time. I see visions of our grandchildren smile, everlasting in our kiss, and our hugs tell me that this is it. So when we say I do, I know that this was meant. I can't give you the world, but I promise to move heaven and earth to put you first, because you are more than worth it. You are the roots to my tree. You are all that I need, and I want to love you forever. If you'll just let me and say I do.